welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. We're gonna do a collective shadow reading. I think it's a full moon. It might not be today, but if you go outside, the moon is pretty full. Oh. Too much. Alright, hey. Anyway, collective shadow reading. Shit. So I have the Yin Yang Oracle. I just got out of the shower. And I'm about to go to bed, but I want to do one of these first. Obviously there's a lot of collective energy happening. If you're on my channel, you probably give a fuck about other people to a certain extent. Yay, congratulations, because we are the minority on the planet. Well, I don't think so, but so many people are so self-absorbed. So anyway, I know I have no jewelry on whatsoever. My hand is healing, but not really. I have this thing on. I do not want to be able to... Anyway, I'll try medicines. Alright. We're going to start with the Yin Yang, and then I've got the Shadow Oracle here, so that we can all kind of figure out what some of the shadow aspects of the new Icon are. Okay. Alright, spy, watching, and inspecting. Oop, there's one that's turned the other way. What are you? Dreams and messages. I'm getting remote viewing and astral traveling. I wouldn't really fuck around with that shit unless you really know what you're fucking doing. I don't know. I have those as a gift, so I don't know how you would harness that. But that is what I'm getting. So maybe you're feeling like you're being extra watched. It's interesting because of this whole Drew Carey thing. Or no, Drew Carey? No, that's that other guy. Jim Carrey. The whole conversation that's happening about him being like a clone or whatever, and how he was the one that was in the Truman Show. That's interesting. God, there's so much bullshit happening at a collective level. I know, it's a lot. Divine timing. Shut up. So many fucking commercials constantly. The commercials are getting way worse lately. I'm seeing so many like sex commercials on my YouTube, and I keep reporting them as like not like ED commercials and shit, and like I don't know why. But the collective energy is, they're preying on your root chakra is like where you feel safe or not, and it's also like where you feel like horny or not, right? We do have chemistry and passion here. So this is relevant to a certain degree. But the powers that be, sex appeal is a very, very powerful tool. So even, like, that's, I also see, like, well, I already told them, like, this is not relevant to me, but, like, a lot more, like, Christian commercials. There's a lot of cancer commercials, like, kids' cancer. So what I mean and why I'm saying this is because of AI and the planting of seeds for subconscious manifestation. It's a very real thing. So just be careful. As we come into consciousness, we pay attention to things differently. Like I said, like I make a point to tell them that those commercials are not relevant. Like I don't want to hear some man talking about ED. I'm like, we know you like men. Anyway, spying, watching, inspecting, and messages and dreams. So, like I said with the Jim Carrey thing, it's really interesting because I think a lot of people feel, I know my hand is gross, okay? Can't help it. And I took everything off my desk, so your angle is a little different. Oh, you're sitting on a box. Oh. But anyway, what remote viewing is when people try to project, like telepathically, to spy, which arguably our telephones do for us. AI is that but this also could be like an interpersonal situation. We have reunion and soul ties and chemistry and passion. I would say keep your pants on unless it's someone that you actually feel special about, because of the powers of lust. Remember, lust and slut have the same words or letters in them. Be careful. We already touched on like the root chakra. Oh. People could be using sex as a way to siphon energy. Like, sex is a very intense, sacred... I did not know we were going here tonight. Sex is a sacred energy exchange. It's an acronym, technically. I know exchange doesn't start with an X, it starts with an E, but anyway. Sex is a very, very sacred practice that has been co-opted by the patriarch to be self-serving instead of, like, if you have a partner that is so connected to you at a soul level, which is not very common, the energy that you can produce from sex with someone who is aligned with you in a conscious awareness, spiritually, respectfully, even just love. Oxytocin is the most powerful chemical. That's why the oxytocin is like the love hormone. But that's why like a lot of hospital births are highly medicated, because it cuts off the oxytocin. Oxytocin is incredibly important after giving birth. It is what makes your child feel secure in their new environment. Why are we talking about this? Oh, so if you're someone, so think about the birthing. Wow, we're just all over the place tonight. Think about the birthing practices in the Western cultures that have, rippled all over the world and become the norm. I can speak on this. I had a free birth, completely unmedicated, at home with just me and baby daddy. I prepared for that. I was a part of a cult by accident in order to prepare for that, the Free Birth Society. I had to sign an NDA and shit. So I can't really talk about the group, but I've already talked about the group a lot. I don't know. God, what the fuck? Whatever. Oh, so oxytocin. So immediately, birth, I labored for about 30 hours, and then Niall was born, and the oxytocin, because baby daddy and I were not in alignment when birth happened, postpartum was an absolute nightmare, but most of my pregnancy was. But anyway, oxytocin between Niall and I, there's one picture that I took. I don't feel like pulling it up. It's really far down on my feet. Oh, wait, no, I just backed up all my fucking photos. You can see my glow, is what I'm trying to get at. And a lot of women don't have that experience. A lot of them are knocked out, epiduraled. And it's interesting, that topic has been coming up on my FYP lately, and I've been chiming in, which I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because women need to know that they're capable. It's my other phone, which is in the bedroom. Oh, wait, maybe I have it in... There's just one photo of me and Niall the day that he was born, and it is just... my smile is incredible. But anyway, oxytocin is important. So if you're in alignment with someone with this chemistry and passion, and it's like a soul tie reunion, this is one of the reasons why divine unions are being brought together at this time, is to make, have intercourse, make love, right? Make real love, because it produces energy. It's an energetic force field that can counter all this negative shit, right? Think about these people. The people in charge are using sex as a form of torture, right? As a form of terror, as a form of control. All this information coming out about pedophiles, and all of the people reading these things and learning this stuff, it's putting everyone in a space of fight or flight in their root chakra. So the fact that, so the reason, so succubuses and incubuses, the only distinction is the feminine and masculine energy. So a feminine energy is a succubus, and a masculine is an incubus, I think. Not the band. But they're like they're entities that attach sexually through sex or sex energy, and they attach to people's energetic field, your root chakra, because that's where your genitals are, and that entity feeds off of your life force energy, right? So to counter that, we have the North Node cosmic purpose, divine intervention, and divine time. So the only two cards in this deck that have the word divine in them are here sandwiching this cosmic purpose, right? What is your purpose? I highly recommend being in a space of awareness about any sexual contact you have right now. HIV is like spreading the nation at a crazy like rate. Be careful. I would recommend self-pleasure, but that's just me. We do have the dark night of the soul, shadow side. We have cycles of change and completion, and we have closed off and get guarded and resistance. And then we have seeds in spring, which we're coming up on spring here in the northern hemisphere in the next couple weeks, technically, like literally all the way. And then we have stability, harmony, and flow. So what seeds are you planting for yourself in these last cycles, especially right now we're in Mercury retrograde energy? I'm cautioning you about your root chakra, and we went through that in a lot of different ways, okay? But be careful. So one of the affirmations for your root chakra is like, I am safe, right? I am grounded. I am solid. Like, I am whole. I am firm. Really, really, really rooting into who you are. Like, you're you, right? Like, I am safe. And say it even if you don't feel it, okay? Because the more you say it, the more you're going to program your brain into allowing yourself to be safe, right? I've been in this process. I was in survival mode for over 20 years, and I'm finally out. Like, we're in World War III, and I'm like, let me start really awesome and ambitious business plans. I know it's kind of like a YOLO situation, but anyway. Be careful about the energy that doesn't work on this side. The energy that you are allowing yourself to whoa, that was deep. Be careful about the energy that you're surrounding yourself with, allowing into your field, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. If you are consuming all of this dark, evil information, give yourself some breaks. Be careful. I think it's a part of the spiritual warfare. The spy watching and inspecting for me, coming out alongside dreams, is very much spiritual warfare, because when you're in an unconscious state, when you're sleeping, maybe throw up extra protection, or get some crystals, obsidian, what's the other O one? Obsidian. I don't know. There's another one that starts with an O that is also a black rock. Not the company. Is that why they have that company? That's interesting. Oh, I've never noticed that. I finally cleaned off the marker that Niall drew like 3 years ago on the walls. It didn't come all the way off, but it's much cleaner. I don't really notice shit like that. And today when I was cleaning it, I was like going into all this space. I was like, dude. The landlord special, he's gonna paint anyway, but where were we? So I'm just looking at the wall. It's white, very white. Shadow aspects. Okay, we'll pull on shadow aspects. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry. The spiritual warfare. Just be aware of what you are consuming, not just as in like food source. The other day when we were talking about, when I was doing the decolonizing consumerism video, I shared that I often think about the taste buds as the ruling elite and the rest of your body as the like masses. And so yeah, shit might taste good, right? So the same is true as the opposite end, where you also have openings. It might feel good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should be doing that, or it's good for your entire being. Sure, you may like nut, you know, or yeah, let's keep it real. Women don't have orgasms when we have sex with men. It's just a fact. Guys don't care. So yeah, you may like nut, but if you think about energy in a more tangible sense, start paying attention to your partners or partner or whatever, the people that you're having sex with. This is so interesting that this is coming through so heavy. Think about how you feel after. And maybe not immediately after, because the oxytocin will be going to a certain degree because orgasms produce oxytocin. And like dopamine, all of the good chemicals happen after an orgasm, right? Like that's why they're so desired. It's a feel good, but it's an addictive quality, just like any other substance. Or instant gratification, right? Oh, they give me a fuck ton of shadow aspects. Alright, I'll stop talking about sex. We have rejection. I think that male circumcision has a lot to do with a lot of the problems we see. I think that cutting off a baby's dick, the head of the penis is this is so fascinating that I'm sharing all of this. The head of the penis is very similar in nerve count to the clitoris. No, anyway. And the clitoris is the only organ in the human body that is made simply for pleasure. That's why women are superior. Anyway, the male genitalia is all babies or all fetuses are created as female first. And then later on, if they have that chromosome, their organs turn into masculine chromosomes. For the most part, there are hermaphrodites who are born with both pieces, or there's also people who are born with things that they're not comfortable with later on in life, and they identify as something different. To each their own. It doesn't fucking matter. What does matter in the regards to this conversation is that if you've never seen an image of a full clitoris, let me show you. So like the bean is the part that men can't find. Clitoral model word. Oh yeah, here. The clitoris very much looks like a penis and testicles. So this is the part that is part of the female labia area, right? And then this is all inside. But this represents the testicles, and that would be the head of the penis once the organ starts to produce because of the extra chromosome. So anyway, cutting off the tip of a penis, genital mutilation, causes extreme pain, and people in this society have really normalized this narrative of like, oh, they're babies, they don't remember. You are fresh out of the womb, and your most vulnerable, sensitive space gets slit open and then cut. No. On a baby who cannot communicate the pain. On a baby, period. I don't think we need to keep going. So as we're learning these things about the Epstein files and the things that is contained in that, as we are exposing ourselves to the truth of the evil that is ruling this planet, we start to question everything. And circumcision is one of those things that as a society, I mean, my generation, the mothers, a lot of us, I won't say the majority, but a lot of us have chosen not to do that to our sons. And we're like, no, that's unnecessary, right? There's a huge portion of us who are not doing that, who are like, why would we do this to our child? You know, anyway, this is such an interesting channeled message. Sex is so powerful, and it keeps people really dumb, and it keeps them wanting more and needing more. Again, lust and slut are the same letters, just mixed up. So just be careful. I feel like this is definitely a shadow aspect. If you are not soul aligned in these times with the people that you are sharing your body with, I would recommend not doing that anymore. Take time to be with yourself. It is a process of decolonizing from pleasure, over indulgence, control, all of the things that we've already talked about. Now let's go ahead and talk about the shadow aspects that came out, and then I will stop talking about clitoris. Rejection. Through the sting of being left out, we discover our own inner worth. Rejection is a form of protection. So say you really like someone and they reject you, maybe they have HIV and they weren't going to tell you that, because a lot of people are doing that nowadays, right? Things like that. So don't worry about it. The reason, just trust and believe that you're being guided. Again, this purpose, work on yourself. Focus on how you can change yourself or be a better version of yourself to improve the planet and the things that we're seeing, right? Maybe you need to go, maybe you have a pregnant friend who's having a boy, and you can have a conversation about circumcision with them, and it will change the mind of the mother and father, and thereby changing the trajectory of the child's life, because they don't have to endure that societally accepted bullshit, right? Pain, trauma. I'm just giving you an example. It doesn't take a lot to plant these seeds in others, and make sure you're planting your own as well. What are the things that you can really start to think differently about within your own life, right? Maybe you've held on to these beliefs because it was just what everyone else was doing, but you're like, I don't believe in this shit. Start going through that, right? And when things that you think you want, or things that people tell you that you should want, don't work out, recognize that for what it is. It's protection. It's like universe is like slowly nudging you onto a different path, right? Or maybe not. Maybe they're punching you in the face onto another path. It depends on how stubborn you are. Same. Dependency. Find strength in self-sufficiency and empowerment. Masturbate, okay? Grief. In pain, find healing and deeper connection to the self. So maybe you're grieving the tip of your penis. I would too if that happened to me. I'm kind of kidding, but not really. Whatever you're grieving, it's fine. Grieve. Allow yourself to feel through it, right? You have to feel it to heal it. Judgment. Judge less and understand more, especially with your own process. Be more curious. Critical thinking, and part of coming into consciousness is allowing yourself the space and grace to do so. And part of that is not judging your process or who you were at one point in your life when you didn't know any better, right? You didn't know better. Once you know better, you do better. And maybe you don't. That's probably where that swift punch in the face comes from the universe, right? The divine intervention. God damn it. What are you doing? No. Guilt. Oh, yeah, here it is. And then you have guilt, right? Release the chains of the past mistakes and embrace the growth they bring. You can't see the card. I don't know why I'm showing you. And we have resistance. Go with the flow and be open to life's changes. Again, we have harmony, flow, instability here. So when you feel yourself being, again, that stability is that root chakra. that's you not feeling safe, right? And when we don't feel safe, or when we feel unworthy, or any shadow aspects, it really shows up in our root chakra because of the society and the way that they have conditioned us to be so sex first, right? It's very unhealthy. Again, remember who these people are. Remember who these people are. They are baby raping, killing, and eating people. Like babies. The youngest victim in the Epstein files was still connected to the umbilical cord. Okay? Let's be so fucking for real. Why on earth are we still doing things the way that these people have told us to do them? Our job, if you're watching my channel, you are part of this collective where our job is to plant the seeds, do things different, be the change, make fucking change, make it happen. Alright, let's get a little bit of advice, or inspiration. I'm so glad I already showered. That's such a big chore. I love it. It's like my favorite, but I'm so tired. I get tired going to the middle school. It's a lot. Progress. Even if you stumble and fall, the steps you take move you forward. All you need to do is get up again. Mirror. What you see in others is reflected in yourself, and when you confront your shadows, everything you see changes. Oh, this song feels like it's lasting forever. If you never spread your wings, you will never learn how to truly soar. Alright, guys. Do I need to do one of these? Okay, fine. I am producing these cards that I made, that I usually use like every reading at the end. I'm producing them to be able to buy. I'm still working on them. But yeah. I've learned the past month that having a printer is an absolute necessity for me. It has made my life a lot easier and more productive. Anyway. It's only 9 o'clock and I'm so excited. Oh, it's exactly 9 o'clock. That's crazy. I thought it was later than that when I started recording. Time. Alright. Happiness depends on ourselves. Shine like the whole universe is yours, and come what may. Collect beautiful moments. No journey is too great if you find what you seek, and let life surprise you. Today is a new day. Go out and make things happen and become your best. A new beginning. The best is yet to come. My condolences to any males who are watching who have the trauma of circumcision. I think it's such a subconscious thing and just not talked about in our society. I mean, finally the mothers, again, my generation of mothers, are starting to have these conversations and make these decisions. But I think that men often work from a foundation of pain and trauma, and they think that they've figured out the issue, something that happened when they were young. But the very first thing that they do to you is the most traumatizing thing they absolutely could, and it's completely normalized. So I hope this gives you a space to think about your pain in a different, more compassionate way for yourselves. Obviously, if you're not circumcised, still do that. You also have enough pain. There are other things that are traumatizing for us immediately, especially if your mother had a hospital birth. Maybe that's something, maybe that's an action that you could take, is to talk to your mom about your birth, if she's open to it, if you never have, or your parents, or, people who were there. Birth is such a big deal, and it's been completely co-opted by these nasty ass fucking monsters. It's such a magical experience, and I'm so grateful that my only experience was so powerful. It really set the tone for my motherhood, and I'm grateful for that. So if you ever want to, if you're a woman and you would like to talk about free birth without having to join a cult, hit me up. All right. Have a good one, y'all.